Let us now understand what are the various assumptions about the preference relations. Now, the first assumption that we make is called completeness. What do we mean by completeness? By completeness, we mean that it is always possible for us to tell that, given any two bundles, X and Y, whether I prefer X over Y, or whether I prefer Y over X, or whether I'm indifferent between X and Y, or whether I weakly prefer X over Y, or I weakly prefer Y over X, I should be able to make some choice. I should be able to clarify, to clear that, this is the kind of relationship that I have between these two bundles. I prefer this or I prefer that. By completeness, we mean that it should never be the case that you come up and tell me that I don't know the relationship. Given two bundles, you should always be able to tell us that this is the relationship that is there between these two bundles. As an individual, I think that when you give me chocolates and chips, I would prefer a bundle with more chocolates over a bundle with more chips. The next assumption is called reflexivity. What do we mean by reflexivity? It says that any bundle is at least as good as itself, which means that if I talk about 5 chocolates and 3 chips, and again I talk about 5 chocolates and 3 chips, then in that case, this bundle is as good as this bundle, right? The two things are exactly the same. So any bundle is at least as good as itself, which means that if I give you a bundle today and I give you the same bundle tomorrow, by the way, think of examples where reflexivity may not hold. Tell me those examples and give me good examples, okay? So, I'm saying that, this bundle is as good as the same bundle given again. But now, imagine if I tell you whether the concept of reflexivity will hold true or not if I talk about the concept of money. I tell you, I give you $100 today versus I give you $100 tomorrow. You will prefer $100 today over $100 tomorrow, right? That is the concept of present value, where that comes into effect, or the concept of being preferred in the present over the same money being getting that in the future. Because when you get this $100 today and you invest it somewhere, you earn 1 day's interest that you lose when you get this tomorrow, right? So a bundle is at least as good as itself, but time zones can make that one bundle being preferred over the other even when it involves the same money, right? So now let's go ahead with the next assumption. This is transitivity. See, transitivity can be there in both weak preferences and strong preferences, and it can also be there in indifferent preferences. Let me give you an example of that. First, I can say that X is preferred over Y is preferred over Z, so X is preferred over Z. This is transitivity, and I can prove this also. Let's try and prove this for a second first. If X is preferred over Y, I'm saying utility from X is greater than utility from Y. When Y is preferred over Z, I'm saying utility from Y is greater than utility from Z. Don't these two things together mean that, here this is the one and this is the one, that, definitely utility of X is greater than that of Z also. So, let's say utility from X is 10, utility from Y is 9, and utility from Z is 8. Bundle Z is 8. Then in that case, isn't 10 greater than 8 also? So utility of X is greater than utility of Z. But this just implies that X is preferred over Z because it has more utility. So I've proved that X is preferred over Z. Simple. Now, this will hold even for weak preferences. If, X is weakly preferred over Y, that was a strong preference, and Y is weakly preferred over Z, then this implies that U of X is either greater than or equal to U of Y. This implies that U of Y is either greater than or equal to U of Z. Then this will imply that U of X is either greater than or equal to U of Z. And this will imply that X is weakly preferred to Z. Simple. This will also hold for indifferent preferences. So if I say I am indifferent between X and Y, and I am indifferent between Y and Z, then I am indifferent between X and Z. Let us try and see this. This will mean utility of X is equal to utility of Y. This will mean utility of Y is equal to utility of Z. If this is equal to this gives you 10 and this also gives you 10. This gives you 10 and this also gives you 10. Doesn't this mean utility of X is equal to utility of Z? And if these two are true, then doesn't this mean that they should be equally preferred because they give you the same utility? So X should be equally preferred to Z. So transitivity is, transitivity holds true for weak preferences, for strong preferences, and it also holds true for indifferent preferences. These are the few assumptions of the preferences. Three main assumptions: reflexivity, completeness, and transitivity. Having told you about these preferences, on the basis of these preferences, we define the indifference curves. And this is something that I'll do in the next video.